Alright, so this video is going to be a little bit of a two-parter. First of all, we're going to do a little bit of an unboxing on this because, you know, why not? Might as well be one of those lame YouTubers that does unboxings. No offense to unboxing YouTubers. But anyways, the real purpose of this video is I want to do a comparison between this guy and the one that I have off screen, which I'll be showing you guys in a second here. The Behringer HA-400. So the Behringer HA-400 is essentially the cheaper version of this. And I've had it now for like, I want to say close to 10 years. Maybe not entirely 10 years, but very close to 10 years I've had this thing. And I have always wondered if there's any reason to get the Mackie version over the Behringer version. Because I mean, that one's done me pretty well. Do a little bit of research, what I have found, but potentially there might be a little bit more volume to be had from this one. As far as the ohmage goes, I think this one has a lower ohm output than the Behringer one, which I think is good. Something like that. I can't quite remember what it is. I'd have to go look up the technicalities of it. But essentially, you should be able to drive slightly larger headphones with this. And also, it should make less noise, which we will be testing here because that's something that I've always wondered, and it seems like nobody has ever actually done a comparison on these anywhere on the internet. I tried doing a lot of research on this and I couldn't seem to find anything that indicated any real differences between the two, or that had indicated that anybody had ever tested this before. So this might be a first for the internet. It's definitely a first for YouTube. I haven't seen this on YouTube yet. So anyways, what this test is gonna be after we're done unboxing this here, which I'm kind of doing slowly, but what the test is gonna be here, first of all, I'm gonna just play nothing through it. I'm just gonna try to see what the baseline like noise level is. So I'm gonna essentially take like the number 1 jack here and just plug it straight into the instrument input on my audio interface, and then I'm going to play some music through my phone. So I'm going to play music through my phone, of course, but then I'm also just going to record the plain signal with no sound coming through, just to see what the baseline noise level is and see if there's any differences between the two as far as the bass noise level goes. But then I'll also, on top of that, what I'm going to do is, of course, do the music on top, see if I get any extra amplification out of this one, see if there's any difference in the quality or how it colors the sound, that sort of thing. So that should be pretty exciting. And so far, yeah, after unboxing this thing, looks pretty nice. I do kind of enjoy this logo on the front here. It's pretty nice looking. Definitely looks a little bit fancier than the Behringer version, but it is more or less the same exact thing. It's even got like the same exact setup. It's got the light on the same side. It's got basically the same knobs here. It's got the same inputs on the back, and they both use the same 12 volt DC. You know, I'm not actually entirely sure. They do look a little bit different, so I think for the sake of not frying my equipment, I am just going to plug in the correct power supply here. But yeah, anyways, that's it for the unboxing. There's not really that much to it, so we'll just get on with the testing then, I guess. Alright, now this is not going to be a glamorous shot by any means. Let's see, we'll get rid of the desktop audio, make sure that's not there. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a recording, get rid of that, turn the gain all the way down. One thing that I did notice, by the way, which doesn't really matter, but the Behringer starts out with 1 over here and 4 over here. This one has 4 over here and 1 over here, so the input closest to the power plug is 1 for the Behringer. The input closest to the power on this one is the 4, so I guess for the sake of this test, the Mackie will be on 4, the Behringer will be on 1, just so that their like position on the actual like board itself is the same or whatever, if that makes sense. Not that it should actually matter, but I did want to do that just for the sake of this test. It is worth noting that my Behringer here is, again, close to 10 years old, so I don't know how that's going to affect sound or anything like that. This will plug into number 1 on the Behringer. We'll do that one first. And I guess just for the sake of making this recording a little bit easier for me to identify, we will start with the music, I guess, instead of the blank test. So we'll pop this bad boy in here. We're going to be doing the Behringer. We're going to be doing a test with the volume all the way up to see what the noise levels are like playing music. We're going to start this music track at the 20-second mark. I guess we'll play it for like, I don't know, 20 seconds or something like that. And first things first, we're going to turn down the gain here, and we will play the track. Alright, so that should be fine. We'll rewind the track, plug in the Behringer, plug that bad boy into this first track here, turn the volume all the way up on here, and once again, keeping the volume all the same, I will turn down the gain on this guy and we will see what it sounds like. We'll play the track. Alright, so that was pretty good. Now that we've done the music comparisons, we will do a silent comparison. We'll actually remove the input completely from the picture here. We will have this plugged into the input just in case that makes any difference whatsoever. We'll measure the volume difference from nothing all the way up, but then what I'll also do is I'll turn these dials all the way up as well just to see if that adds any extra noise into the signal equation here. Just because we have this one plugged in already, we will be starting with, I keep wanting to call them both Behringers, with the Mackie here, the HM-4 we're going to be starting out with track 1, or I guess track 4, turning up the volume, and then I'll slowly turn up all the other volumes. I'm going to turn up the gain on this, and then so yeah, once again we're going to start from 4 on this one. I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, 1, turning them all up, and then I'll turn them all back down slowly. So here we go, 3, 2, 1, go. For some reason that second pot there makes like a little bit of a spike on the reading. I'm not really sure what that is all about. But what we're going to do is we're going to plug the input into this guy. We're going to plug this guy into number 1, and we're going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to turn up first one, go down the line, and then go back down the line. And we will start the test. So here we go. Oh. Already, this one is way noisier. Alright, so that was actually a pretty interesting test. I do actually want to do one more test though. So what we're going to do for this test actually is we're going to get the same track playing, and then I will just start slowly turning up the volume. And let's see how this goes. Alright, so that was the Mackie, and you'll notice I also decided to throw in the other dials there, so we're going to do that for the next one as well. And we're going to plug in the Behringer and do the exact same thing, keep all of the settings the same, and we will commence the test. All right, so anyways, that was a fun little test. I have no idea how it went because I wasn't listening to it, so I am going to go back and listen back to it, and we will see what the results are. But just based on what I saw alone, I have a feeling that the Mackie, I can't say whether or not it's going to be louder yet. I still have to do the headphone test as well, which I will just kind of do subjectively on my own and let you guys know what I feel about that. But just based on what I saw, I'm pretty sure this one has the lowest noise levels. I could visibly see the noise levels on the audio spectrum on this one. I could not see any noise on the audio spectrum on this one. This one was very clearly visible, like almost up into like the -45, -40 range. So it was a significant amount of noise on this one. And I'm pretty sure the listening test is going to confirm that. One thing that I did notice was that there was a spike in noise when I turned this second dial here, which is actually the number 3 dial. So I will have to see what that noise was all about as well. But yeah, for now I'm going to go back and listen to that real quick, and I will let you guys know how I feel. Alright, so from looking back at the test results, I discovered two things. First of all, I accidentally ruined the test by setting a noise floor on my OBS recording, but I did still collect enough data to confirm my suspicions here. First of all, the Mackie is pretty much exactly 1 decibel louder than the Behringer. This is at least like maximum volume compared to maximum volume. Pretty much exactly. I think it's like maybe like 1.2 decibels louder. So technically significant, but like not a huge difference, but it's definitely louder. The other thing was my suspicion about the noise floor, which this one, again, pretty much has almost no noise floor. Again, I pretty much ruined the test by, you know, setting a noise limit or whatever on the OBS recording, but that definitely means that whatever noise there is, it was less than -55 decibels, because that's where I have my noise floor. I have my noise floor set like pretty surprisingly low. If it didn't trip that, then it was not very much noise at all. I did get that weird little scratchiness out of this this phone's 3 pot here, so that's a little curious. Not really sure what that's all about. It's probably just a faulty pot, but it's literally only this one that does it, so you know, whatever. And it only seems to happen when you actually like move it, so that doesn't really matter. Like when it's in place, it doesn't make any additional noise, so I wouldn't consider that a problem necessarily. But anyways, this one has a boatload of noise, which you can definitely hear in the recording. This one has a substantial amount of noise, like an annoying amount of hiss. As far as the noise is concerned alone, this one absolutely has way more noise than the Mackie, and if noise is something that bothers you, get the Mackie. It'll absolutely be quiet, especially when compared to the Behringer. It is way quieter. As far as the signal noise goes. The other thing too, just like from my subjective test with the headphones, obviously it was louder because I was able to get more volume out of this one. I put the song at a low volume so I could crank the volume on these units to the maximum. And obviously I did notice a difference in the volume. This one was like, of course, a decibel louder, so it felt and sounded a little bit louder, which might have something to do with the way that I perceived the test, but it did seem like it had a little bit more like distinction to it, like as far as the bass and whatnot goes. But again, that could just be because it had that extra decibel of volume there, kind of helping the energy of the track overall. Could be that, or it could just be the fact that since it does not have the additional noise slopping up the sound, that it just sounded crisper in general. I think quite possibly the noise that you get from the Behringer might sort of muddy whatever signal you're getting a little bit, to the point where it just doesn't sound quite as defined, like it almost sounds like it's compressed or something, just because there's that like sort of like washing over it. Just a little bit of a theory, and kind of mostly subjective here, but as far as my subjective ears go, I definitely did enjoy the sound of the Mackie a lot more. It was louder, there was less noise, it just overall sounds better. Yeah, I don't know, I would say it was definitely worth it. There's definitely nothing wrong with the Behringer, and it's pretty hard to beat it for the price. I mean, I've been using it for the past like almost 10 years now without complaining. But then again, what you don't know won't hurt you. And if I would have known that the difference between the Behringer and the Mackie was this significant, I might have made a different decision back then, even though the price gap is pretty significant. I think this one's like, I forget. I want to say this one's like somewhere in the neighborhood of like $20 to $30. This one is like $49.99, I believe. So pretty much double the price for this one, but you definitely get some higher quality, you definitely get some better sound, and a little bit louder sound as well. So if you have some bigger cans, this will just kind of barely drive them a little bit better than this one will, aside from there just being less noise overall. But anyways, I guess that's it for this video. I kind of wanted to just once and for all get to the bottom of these two devices, the Behringer versus the Mackie headphone amplifier. So if this is a question that you have been asking or wondering, kind of like I have, I've honestly been wondering this since I've had this one, if, you know, maybe this one was better or whatever, but it really is like pretty hard to find any like definitive information or actual like comparisons or whatever between the two. So I figured since I got this one for Christmas, I might as well do the comparison and do everybody on the internet a favor. Why not? So anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff or anything else that I do on my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.